Hello, my name is Hsu, and this is Hsu, my sister. Jean is the owner of this, an Etsy store that sells stationery. For those unfamiliar with the site, Etsy is an online storefront that specializes in selling unique items. These can be anything, ranging from greeting cards to clothes. The website had over 45.7 million buyers as of 2019, and 2.5 million sellers, my sister being one of these. My sister's store features a small array of cute and charming stationery, and in terms of operations, it's all incredibly small scale, requiring only paper and ink to produce product, and the relevant materials to ship that product. The scope of operations is also pretty small, as she produces everything in the house that we live in. In terms of competition, the industry is pretty small, as most of the competition that my sister faces are physical stores, such as Hallmark, and other Etsy stores, which, as we'll discuss later, aren't that big of a problem. As sole owner and employee of this mini sole proprietorship, it's safe to say that she's very involved in the strategy of this operation, and that's why I wanted to interview her. I went into this interview with one key question in mind. How do general strategic business concepts apply to businesses on this small of a scale? And will we see a confirmation of the theories that we discussed in class? Or will we see something different? From the outset of the interview, I could determine that such an untraditional business format would cause some interesting contrasts with trends that are often seen across other companies and industries. When asked to share about any potential external risk factors to the Etsy store, my sister had a very interesting insight to share regarding current events and their impacts on the business. With the spread of the coronavirus, many businesses have been negatively affected, and I assumed this would be the case regarding my sister's store as well. After all, physical stores such as Hallmark and other storefronts that sell stationery, like grocery stores, have also been suffering during this outbreak, and as such I figured that my sister's store would not be an exception. However, since Etsy is a completely online shopping front, and stationery is a nice way to write letters and connect with people in a way that doesn't require you to actually go and meet them, the outbreak of COVID-19 has actually increased demand and sales for Etsy stores, and by extension, my sister's store. In identifying any real threats to the business, the only threat that she faced was the possibility that the storefront itself, Etsy, would go out of business, owing perhaps to the prominence of other dominant online stores such as Amazon. As such, my sister's business is incredibly safe from external threats, and given the fact that there aren't any real barriers to entry for Etsy sellers aside from obtaining the relevant inputs for the products that you sell, it's an incredibly risk-free way to develop an online storefront and brand. This general trend of expectations being subverted continued when we discussed more general aspects of business strategy, specifically competition. From very early on in this class, we learned that competition is something that generally should be avoided. So, on a scale as small as my sister's store, I was surprised to learn that she viewed competition as highly beneficial. This seemed wrong to me at first. After all, what possible benefit could the substitutes of your own product bring to your business? My sister explained, however, that many shops on Etsy don't push a high variety or volume of inventory. As such, due to the high demand of the niche market that buys stationery on Etsy, when those people go to purchase product from the creators that they like, they also generally tend to search for similar products, diversifying the buyer's catalog. This behavior has led many creators on the store to begin collaborating and vouching for each other's merchandise. While it is true that competitors' sales can detract from my sister's sales, when a customer finds stationery that they like on another seller's page, they're more likely, by proxy, to view my sister's store. Seeing as how this beneficial aspect of competition was unfamiliar to me, I took it upon myself to try and identify what type of competitive market Etsy stores would fall into. I believe one reason that my sister's store could gain such a boon from competition is because these stores form a monopolistically competitive market. Seeing as how there are very few barriers to entry or exit, and how many of the Etsy stores that sell stationery are quite similar, this identification makes sense, as each individual store offers features consisting of stationery made with that individual's unique charm or aesthetic. This kind of market structure encourages cooperation between competitors, as generally individual firms will carve out their own niche in the market with their unique features. By combining efforts, firms can tap into a wider selection of the market that may have been previously inaccessible. When you compound the facts that Etsy is an online storefront consisting of a large quantity of small, similar sellers with few barriers to entry, the conditions become perfect for collaboration rather than competition. In conclusion, due to the size and structure of Etsy and its stores, many concepts of business strategy apply differently than expected to this market. Since there are few risks owning a storefront on the site, and few barriers to entry or exit, it's an incredibly secure platform to run a business. And while this trait could lead to greater competition, due to the special nature of Etsy's competitive market, these competitors can prove to be beneficial as they extend the outreaching potential of any individual store. These are the biggest takeaways from my interview. Thank you for your time.